we have the next biggest controversy of the weekend, which is that President Trump tweeted out a picture of himself as the Pope. And I shouldn't laugh, but it's him sitting there. He's got the Pope hat on, the mitre, and he's got the papal vestments. He's sitting in the throne. He's got the cross necklace. Okay. Should we be offended? Should we laugh? Is this terrible? Is Trump really anti-Catholic? What are we supposed to do here? Governor Kathy Hochul of New York says, as a Catholic, I'm very, very offended. Kathy Hochul, who ratifies the slaughter of babies in her state, who ratifies all the excesses of leftism, who ratifies the gender ideology, who ratifies the redefinition of marriage. No, now this is too far. This is what offends her as a Catholic. We do not want to reduce religious things to jokes. We don't. We don't want to make jokes about God. We don't want to make jokes about the saints. When you're examining your conscience and you go into confession, one of the things you have to examine and confess is if you make profane or vulgar jokes about religious things, because you don't want to reduce religious things to jokes, okay? Most of us have done it at some point, okay? And in fact, most conservative Catholics I know have at some point at least considered or outright made the joke about Trump becoming Pope. Yes, what should happen at the next conclave? Maybe we'll have Donaldus Magnus. Is he eligible? I'm not quite sure. Most of us have made some kind of joke like that. It is not to be recommended to make jokes about religious things, to reduce religious things to jokes. However, all that said, Trump clearly meant no offense. He is one of the most explicitly pro-Catholic presidents we've ever had in a country that has been anti-Catholic for a long time. Trump visited the National Shrine, St. John Paul II. His wife is Catholic. He picked a Catholic vice president. Some would say maybe our first practicing Catholic vice president. Am I offended as a Catholic, as Governor Hochul demands that I be? Call me crazy, but I am more offended by the previous president, who calls himself a Catholic, who sued nuns, was vice president in an administration that sued nuns for being Catholic. A lot of people don't even remember that from the Obama admin. The president who, while he was president, spied on Catholic parishes and likened them to domestic terrorists. Who knows, might have spied on my parish. The president who imprisoned pro-lifers, disproportionately Catholic, for praying, for demonstrating, for being pro-life. The president who supported the wholesale slaughter of millions of babies. The president who tried to redefine marriage. Call me crazy. But even just that, marriage being the symbol of Christ's love for his church, to say nothing of the gender ideology and the explicit persecution of Catholics, I'm a little more offended by that. And I think that these comments from putative Catholics like Governor Hochul, I think they're a little disingenuous. I'm not going to lose much sleep over that. You need to text Knowles, Knowles, to 989898. This July, there is a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging powers, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the US dollar as the global currency. They're calling this the Rio Reset. As BRICS nations push forward with their plans, global demand for US dollars will decrease, bringing down the value of the dollars in your savings. While this transition will not happen overnight, the Rio Reset in July marks a pivotal moment when BRICS objectives move decisively from theoretical possibility toward reality. Learn if diversifying your savings into gold is right for you. Birch Gold Group can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free info kit on gold by texting my name, Knowles, Knowles, to 989898 with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Thousands of happy customers. Let Birch Gold arm you with a free, no-obligation info kit on owning gold before July and the Rio Reset. I've been very happy to have a fair bit of gold in my portfolio. Text Knowles, Knowles, to 989898. So, speaking of President Trump, he has now directly addressed something that has been driving the left crazy, which is the prospect of Trump running for a third term. And Steve Bannon has been fueling this fire. He said Trump's going to run for a third term. He's going to win a third term. Trump himself is selling Trump 2028 hats on the website. And he was asked this question by NBC News. Here's his answer.
The Trump organization is selling hats that say Trump 2028.
Yeah.
Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr. President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it. I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do. I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have 4 great years and turn it over to somebody, ideally a great Republican, to carry it forward. But I think we're going to have 4 years, and I think 4 years is plenty of time to do something really spectacular.
I love it. I love the whole thing. As I said from the beginning, when Trump started talking about the third term in 2028 and the libs were losing their mind, I said, you guys, you're just exposing yourselves for not understanding anything about our political moment. You're just not, all these left-wing political analysts were pointing out, they were revealing that their analysis was just totally worthless. As I said, it's obvious what Trump is doing here. Trump is in principle a lame duck right now. It's a little weird because his second term is non-consecutive, but if this were a consecutive second term, people would be calling him a lame duck. He doesn't want to be a lame duck. So he's dangling out this red meat here and saying, well, maybe I'll run for a third term. And the libs are all going for it. You know, it's not red meat, it's catnip, really. And all these little cats go running for it. But I said, I wouldn't worry about it, folks. And then the way he's talking, he says, well, look, what's my answer on the third term? Many people are asking me. Look, many people are selling Trump 2028 hats, including him. He leaves that part out. And look, and I don't know, maybe it's a constitutional thing? And there are going to be the people who think that Trump is stupid, the handful of people who are so thick-headed that they can still convince themselves that Trump is stupid. They're going to believe that he's serious here. When he's playing, I don't know, is it in the Constitution? I don't know. Have you guys seen that? I don't know. Who knows? But then he comes to his point. He says, but look, I think we're going to get it done in 4 years. Okay, and there are going to still be libs out there who say, oh no, he's a dictator. He's going to abolish elections. And when you hear people say that now, that's a very helpful little tool, because whenever you hear someone say, Trump is going to have a third term and it's going to end the republic and this, just know that person's analysis is so obviously wrong, you don't need to listen to a word that they have to say. It was a great clip. Stop. Hey, come on, Jack. Ring the bell and subscribe, and then we'll see you next time.